You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real. It's Roland Martin Unfiltered. By going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com, you can make this possible. This is what amazes me. First of all, this is why I really can't stand any of these cable news networks. I can't stand any of them, because when they have any of these conversations, when we talk about resources and wealth, things along those lines, I swear none of these people have ever read a damn book. They've never understood the history of America. And I just sit there and I look. First of all, I can't even watch them anymore because they don't want. No, ain't even just dumbed down.
No, but
just,
they don't want
just always being dumb.
No, they can't deal with history, Roland.
No, they
what
can't.
What this brother has lifted up here is a history of contract housing, which is a history that goes all the way back. Here's the words that they will not use: economic envy. And this is a thing that I've been doing a lot of research on lately, starting with Memphis, Ida B. Wells, looking at Wilmington, looking at Tulsa. And, you know, here's what
How dare you Negroes go make money?
In Tulsa, the governor appointed a commission to find out why they had the massacre. They want to call it right. It was a massacre.
Yes.
The answer was this. Too many N-words had too much money. That was the answer. Too many black people.
They did not like us having hotels and bars and restaurants and clothing stores.
And
they like, oh, hell no. We got to torch y'all.
So you have some little nonsense of a black guy.
Allegedly.
And there is some evidence that they knew each other, by the way. Just footnote. But anyway, and you go to Wilmington, where a white woman, her name was Helen Firth, first woman in the United States Senate, the itch, actually, and I said itch, said we should lynch 1,000 black men a week to save our women's chastity. And so a brother, Alexander Manley, wrote a piece that said, excuse me about your chastity, but some of y'all be in love with us. And he broke that down. But Ida B. Wells showed that 1/3 of all lynchings had to do with sex. The rest were economic. Of the 1/3 that had to do with sex, half were consensual. And as he said, when these with white girls got caught, they said rape, 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 rape.
You said that that you can't stand these cable networks because they're dumb or they're not giving information. My perspective is that they know history.
I don't think
I think they know history quite well, and they play dodgeball.
So actually, to be perfectly honest with you, they ain't that smart. I mean, first of all, no. Look, I've had to sit in those meetings, and I'm like, any of y'all read? No, they don't read. No, they literally, the fundamental problem here is what you have is you have white hosts, white producers, white bookers, white executives who live in a white world. And they know nothing about us. I mean, I'll tell you, look, when I was at CNN, I was filling in for Campbell Brown, 2 months. She on maternity leave. And so it was rough for them because they were like, one, they thought I was just supposed to be like just happy, just like, oh, I'm just sitting here. I'm going to sit here, just fill in. So whatever y'all give me, I'm going to read. That didn't happen. They had one producer, Claire. Claire was so hot. Claire couldn't have. I was way too opinionated on what's going to go on the show. Claire just said, I ain't working with him. Send me to the Anderson Cooper show while he filling in, because I ain't working with him. Yeah, Claire. I'm going to call your name. But here's what happened. We were talking about education, and I said, book Jonathan Kozol and book Floyd Flake.
Oh, boy. They didn't know they were.
No
who that
idea
is. Right, exactly.
Floyd Flake. And we were in the newsroom. I said, I'm sorry. Don't none of y'all know Reverend Floyd Flake, member of Congress, pastor of Jamaica Queens, president of Wilberforce? No idea. No, we and our history don't even exist to them. So you bring it up, and they go, really?
But Roland.
Oh, my God. Cleo, go ahead. I'm going to go to you. Cleo, go ahead.
Every February is Black folks a relatively relevant month.
No. So only 3 black people in February.
Let me
Dr. King, Dr. King, and Dr. King.
Let me finish.
And no sisters.
Let me finish.
I just named the 3 black people they named.
Okay, right.
Dr. King, Reverend Dr. King, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. That's the only 3 black people who get mentioned. Go ahead.
But let me finish. Let me see if we can do this without me being interrupted. Let's see. Let's
try.
Let's try. And I've literally purposely studied and focused on this phenomenon. Every February, y'all black people are relatively relevant, and they do a black thing. One year, Anderson Cooper did a study, a recreation of the
Ken Clark doll study.
The doll study.
I was there.
And the doll study, the terminology they used to describe black people who chose the white doll was that they had a white bias. And one of the, which is a racist, white supremacist, milquetoast way of describing internalized white supremacy myth. But anyway, they talked about the fact that everybody in the study, these were children, all had an anti-black bias, and all had white bias, and then they described a horrific phenomena that distorts black self-concept, but they went on to the next thing. They didn't deconstruct it and talk about the casualties of it.
Well, I didn't
expect. Because it was only about the doll.
I didn't expect it.
It wasn't about going deeper than mustard on a hot dog.
Right. So my point is that there's some things they know, but they don't GAF. You know what that means? I know you know what GAF means. They don't give a frying pork chop. And there's things they know about in terms of
it's called GAB.
Murder and black people. They know all about these contexts, but they don't really care.
No, Cleo. When I say, first of all, there are some who have no clue, don't know, and don't care.
A lot of us don't know and don't have a clue either.
That's very true. Somebody on YouTube just said that. But I'm going to tell you, Lauren, I'm going to go to you. Julianne mentioned Tulsa. Tim Madigan, we worked together for Four-Star Telegram. Tim Madigan grew up in Iowa. The best, I mean, he was like the best writer in the whole newspaper. When he started working on the book on Tulsa Race Riot, he worked on the article, then he started working on the book. And it was as if he got hit by lightning. No, seriously. He went, when he read the stories of elderly black people kneeling in their homes and white folks busted in, putting guns to the back of their heads and blowing their brains out, Tim Madigan said, oh my God. He said, now, for the first time in my life, everything that has happened with black people where there's been outrage, I now understand. When I interviewed him, he said, I grew up in Iowa. I ain't seen anybody black till I went to college. He said, and every time something happened, Rodney King, he said, I really didn't understand why black people were upset. He said, but it wasn't until doing the research on the Tulsa race riots. And then he started tearing up. He said, then I got pissed. He said, I got pissed because I was never taught it. I had no idea.
Nobody teaches
and,
this.
And the reason I'm saying this because he just passed a bill in Oregon where a little kid pushed it through mandating Holocaust teaching in Oregon schools. I ain't got no problem with that.
Well, what about
but the Holocaust did not happen here.
Did not happen here.
It happened in Germany.
Well, the thing is...
And that's where we are.
Both of you guys are right. I think I'm leaning more with Cleo here because when I see people on TV like Jeffrey Lord, I know they know.
Oh, no, we know.
I know they know.
Oh,
so there's an agenda. All right. So the other thing, though, too, is that one of the key components of racism that nobody ever talks about is deleting people and ignoring them and making them invisible.
That's right.
So it is conscious that I make your life, your history invisible. So to acknowledge it in any way is to give it power.
Right.
People understand that when they book guests and when they book contributors and the type of contributors they book that know nothing about what we're talking about.
No. Let's be just real clear. There was a meeting in 2012. And in the meeting they said, we need to book us another Roland Martin. And somebody in the meeting said, we already got Roland Martin. They said, no. We need to book another Roland Martin.
Right.
No, you want Roland Light.
And people in the room kind of like, oh, right. Because they didn't like black Roland Martin.
No, what they didn't like is you bringing up things that make them uncomfortable, that are factual, because you know your history.
And because I've read.
And you're dangerous.
And that's the piece. And so I ain't going to sit on the air and embrace and love Jeffrey Lord.
Right.
So, you know,
they want the other entertainment piece. They want the black entertainment piece. They want the black minstrel. The black minstrel that doesn't really know the history.
Or they want the black, can we just all get along? And there's some folk I ain't getting along with. But go ahead.
This is people of color crap. Which is a kumbaya crap, which disallows you saying black, 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 black,
That's a
black,
form
black,
of
black,
erasure.
black.
It's a form of erasure.
And so, at some level, what Lauren said is correct about erasure, because you've erased Tulsa. Like
Right.
a lot of people.
You've erased this.
Wilmington. You've erased the first lynching that Ida B. Wells covered.
Right.
People want to talk about Ida B. Wells as a journalist. Let's talk about her
What
as an
what she wrote about. No. They want to say Ida B. Wells is a great journalist, but what did she
and the
write
first
about?
lynching that she wrote about
And
was the lynching of her goddaughter's father, who had the nerve to open up a grocery store across the street from a white man's store. That's why he was lynched.
I'm saying all of this for the people who are watching, because I'm about to go to our next story, because this ties into it. I'm saying all of this because you have an election going on. And I'm telling y'all right now, might as well get used to it. Y'all are going to be, it's going to be, what was that movie, The Unbearable Likeness of something?
Of being?
I don't know.
I forgot what it was.
I remember that.
You about
old.
to deal with the unbearable likeness of whiteness.
Oh,
Because you're not going to hear folks on air link the story we just did to present day. You're not going to hear them link these historical issues to what's happening today. You're not going to hear them link it in the military. You're going to hear them link it when it comes to economic policies and housing policies, because they refuse to want to deal with it. And so my challenge to all y'all black folks who's sitting on MSNBC or sitting on CNN, even the black folks at Fox News, you got to bring blackness to the table every day.
black, black, black.
You got to be
black,
willing to
black.
challenge them. And then if y'all some black people, and let me also just be real clear, Cleo said it, I ran the Chicago Defender, which was the blackest of newspapers.
Yeah.
I changed our masthead to honest, balanced, truthful, unapologetically black. The people who owned the paper were black millionaires from Detroit, who literally said, y'all really think we should have that on the, because you know, when we go to white advertisers, what they gonna think? And I went, you a black paper. I think they know you black. They literally were afraid of the unapologetically black part.
We're the only group that does that.
And that to me
Okay, that's
is so insane, and what we have to deal with. And so I'm just letting y'all
People are
know,
not scared.
you're about to
Nobody's
deal
not
with this in
scared.
2020.
Nobody's scared.
And you're not necessarily going to hear a lot of very specific black questions because they don't want to hear it. And the DNC just announced, if they got pressure, they're going to mandate that at least there be a female moderator in every single debate. I want y'all to watch the questions that get asked. And I'm going to tell you right now, even the questions in the black debate, you might get 2 real questions, but I'm just saying. All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. Hey, folks, they're back. MarijuanaStock.org is another great investment opportunity. If you were lucky enough to invest in their last crowdfunding campaign, you know they raised a lot of money in just a few months investing in legal marijuana farms. Those initial investors now own shares of a publicly traded company. They are certainly on fire. The last time, of course, many of you missed it. Y'all been emailing me. Now you have an opportunity this time for this new investment opportunity that is as good, if not even better, than the last time. I'm talking about industrial hemp CBD. For those who don't know, the hemp plant is a cousin to marijuana with a much higher concentration of CBD, which means hemp CBD gives you all of the medical benefits of marijuana without getting you high. Until recently, hemp farming was practically illegal in the United States and heavily regulated by the DEA. However, the 2018 Farm Bill recently passed in Congress, making it legal to grow hemp CBD in the U.S. and creating one of the largest commodities worldwide. They need land to grow all of the plants, and this certainly makes for an incredible investment opportunity. And that's where our good friends at 420 Real Estate come in, and their business model is very simple. They buy land that supports hemp CBD grow operations and lease it to licensed, high-paying tenants. That's right, they are hemp CBD landlords, and you can get in on the action. And you can invest in this crowdfunding campaign for as little as $200 up to $10,000. Like I said, you don't want to miss out. Many of you did the first time. Now you have a second opportunity to invest. Go to marijuanastock.org. That's marijuanastock.org. Folks, if you want to get in the game, you certainly must do it now. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.